Every business starts with an idea. Whether you're a nonprofit wanting to change the world, a creative business wanting to make the first computer animated movie, or a small business wanting to build a business website. Regardless of how your idea came about, whether born out of frustration, why can't a product be better or work like this, or why can't I find anything for people like me, or born from seeing a need and wanting to help. However your idea came to you, there is still a wide gap between inspiration and getting people to buy into your idea. Your idea must be communicated. Hey moms, welcome to another episode of the Life Unboxed blog show, where we talk about all things momtrepreneur, from raising your kids to running a business, and the most important, keeping your sanity. I am Jodie the mom from lifeunboxed.blog. If you're enjoying this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. If you're listening to the podcast, be sure to subscribe to it, share the podcast with your friends, and leave a 5-star review wherever you're listening. I appreciate your support. Remember, I would love to hear your questions that you just can't seem to get answered. Let's get into this. In the not too distant past, businesses shared their ideas through word of mouth. If you had a great product, people talked about it. They shared it through newspapers. According to Pew Research, advertising revenue for newspapers was a billion-dollar industry, but it has dramatically declined in recent years. If you were a really big business, you bought TV ads. Does anyone even watch TV anymore? And then, of course, if you were small, you bought an ad in the Yellow Pages. Remember those? The means of communicating your great idea have changed drastically over the years, but the main idea remains the same. If you want to build a business, it needs to be communicated to people. So how do you do that now? Everything is online. Advertising in the 21st century. We transitioned from being a print-based society to all things digital. You can do almost anything digitally. Although I'm still a fan of some things paper. You can't substitute that kinetic learning with digital. The means of communicating your great idea have changed drastically over the years. We now use social media for word-of-mouth advertising. We create a Google business profile instead of a Yellow Pages ad. So how do you communicate your great idea in the 21st century? One of the most important things you can do for your business is to build a business website. How do you find answers to your questions or a product for a problem that you have? The internet, of course. Everyone searches for solutions to their problems online. Creating a website that will provide a solution to one of these searches is a must-have. So here are some tips for an engaging website that clearly communicates your vision, passion, and product. All right, so when you're designing or updating your website, keep these three things in mind. Number 1, first impression. Your website is your first impression, so make it count. When a potential client lands on your website, what do they see? Are they overwhelmed by the amount of information, or are they invited to walk through your story? Does your website engage your audience with its content and images? Make your website highly visual. A picture truly speaks 1,000 words. There are a lot of great websites with totally free images, no attribution required, so go check out Pixabay and Unsplash. Make your writing clear. If mechanics and grammar are not your strong points for you, hire someone who can edit your work. So check out Fiverr to look for a freelance editor, because communicating ideas in writing is not easy, so it will be worthwhile to make that investment. Focus on your client, not on you. While your website is about the services you offer, your potential fan wants to know how it will benefit them. Make your story about them. One of my favorite marketing books is Marketing Made Simple by Donald Miller, and he will walk you through this process step by step. I highly recommend this book, to the point of even saying, like, his books are really the only books you need. You don't need anything else. And number 2, it legitimizes who you are. A website legitimizes who you are. A whopping 84% of people said that businesses with a website makes them credible, as opposed to a business that only has a social media page. A website does a lot of communicating for you, so make sure you actually buy a domain and hosting. So here are 2 hosts that I recommend, Bluehost and SiteGround, and I will leave the links in the description and show notes below. There are free websites out there, but the only option will be your domain name with hostingname.com. So for example, if I went with one of the free websites, it would be lifeunboxed.blogspot or .wixsite.com. So this is a terrible look, and it makes it hard to find your business. There are numerous other reasons not to do this, but I will leave it at these for this post. One of the first investments that I would really encourage you to make for your business is a domain name and hosting. If you want to work with a theme, check out Divi Themes by Elegant Themes. I also have videos on my Life Unboxed blog YouTube channel that will help you create a website with the Divi theme. And I have more planned. And here's the shameless plug. If you need someone to help you build your website, contact me through jodierperry.com. I love helping small businesses get started. Number 3, give information. There seems to be a trend in marketing now that leaves a potential customer with one thought. So what are you trying to sell? My husband and I watch commercials, streaming shows online. We don't watch TV. And we look at each other like, what on earth was that nonsense? I don't even know what the product is. You can have an awesome looking website, but if you don't have good information on it, no one will look at it, or they'll walk away thinking, so what services does she offer? You want your clients to come back to your website and to spread the word about you. Here's what you need to put on your website. Clear, concise information. You want to ensure that your sentences are clear, structured correctly, and words spelled correctly. Don't clutter. It is a fine balance between just enough information and too much information. Be careful not to visually overload your website. Make it clear where you want the user to look. If your user is overwhelmed just looking at your website, you have completely lost them. You also want your website easy to navigate. Have pages placed in logical spots on your menu bar. You want your users to easily find the information they are seeking. Are you ready to start building your website? Do you have more questions? I know I did starting out. Sometimes the questions were never answered because there was an assumption that I should already know the answer. So if you have one of those questions, let me know. I never want you to feel frustrated because you can't find the answer to your questions. If you are ready to get started, be sure to check out my other videos on building a website, links below. I am so glad you joined me today. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Remember to check out the Life Unboxed store for all of your Mom Boss merch. For more great momtrepreneur content, check out lifeunboxed.blog or download the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to share the podcast and video with your friends.